Warning, this podcast is not for the faint of heart. We keep it real and raw and talk about issues that other podcasts wouldn't dare. This is the Truth of the Matter podcast with Dr. Spencer. Step into our world. What do you do if you fall in love with one of your kid's friends who's over 18? How do you handle getting caught in bed with your boss? Why do girls like bad boys? Are you burned out from an unbalanced career and personal life? Are you still working while your kids are telling you how their days went? Our passion is to help people in relationships, anyone you have a connection with in life, neighbors, coworkers, family, spouse, kids, yourself, and helping you achieve the work-life balance. Let's have some fun and let's get educated. This is the Truth of the Matter podcast. And now your host, Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer.
Yay! Well, good morning, afternoon, everybody. Actually, well, whatever time you live in. Jesus Christ. Okay, so you know who I am, Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer, and you are with the Truth of the Matter podcast with Dr. Spencer. But I have a special guest today, Miss Cynthia Rudd, Miss Arkansas. So the other day, actually about a week or two ago, when I first heard her story, I was compelled to reach out, and I felt like I was almost a stalker because I was like, I got to get this lady on. And I tell you, when she and I started talking, it was like, long story short, 10 times on my part, because anyone who talks to me know that, you know, I tend to be a little long-winded. I probably need to be in therapy for it, but I'm long-winded. I'm an only child. Don't judge me. But anyway, her story was phenomenal, and she was actually sent by someone else. And I have to say, the story is phenomenal. So this is a story really of like redemption and just phenomenon. I mean, everything from prison to comedian on the big stage. And like I told her, I said, no, you've been on the big stage because you've been with some of the greats. I'm gonna let her tell you about that. But when I say some of the greats, just her stories, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, with Monique, just to name one, I mean, the list goes on, okay? And like I said, I was more intrigued by the, you know, like just going from one thing to the next and just still being so positive. And that's what we need. So again, anyone can change. We have to give people an opportunity. But you know what? Just because you've been in the system does not make you a bad person. I think everybody has a story. And truth be told, some of us probably are knocking on that door too. Okay? So we're not going to judge. But thank you so very much for joining today. I truly appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Wow. I can't quit smiling. Yes, thank you so much for having me. Shout out to our good friend Nate. When I had my podcast, I ended up, like you say, somebody introduced you to somebody else and somebody else. Rhonda Bankston told me about him. I interviewed him. We stayed on there for like 2.5 hours, but we're not gonna do that today, people, okay? But and then when he just interviewed me on his podcast, he was like, I got some good friends that have podcasts, and I'm gonna introduce you to them, and I feel they need to interview you.
Yes, he did say, and I was on it. He didn't even give me any background. He didn't say anything. Nate is very few words. She's right. He's a fellow podcaster, but I feel like he's a friend too, because he can be on the phone forever, right? And he's shown me so many different things. I've said before, I was like, I never set out to be a podcaster at all. There's a lot of behind the scenes things. And I was just like, you know, do people really want to know what I'm talking about? But they do, right? So again, when I heard the story, he just said, whatever you do, you got to get this lady on there. He said, because I'm telling you, she's phenomenal. You got to get on there. So again, we're going to talk about this whole thing now. Just kind of give us, you know, like I call it the cliff notes of how it started, and now you being, like I said, on the world stage. So tell us a little bit about that. So you were in prison, and tell me if it's something that's uncomfortable. Because again, I told you I want to make sure that I maintain the highest level of integrity here, right? So tell us, however way you want to tell us, little or big, whatever. So you were imprisoned, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now,
well, when life first started, I never been a bad person. And sometimes you don't have to be a bad person to get caught up in a bad situation. So my sister and this young lady, they was having issue over this no good man. My sister was 6 months pregnant at the time, and the young lady happened to not be my enemy. They had a fight, and I ended up coming home. I was living in California at the time. I ended up coming home. We was at the nightclub. Some commotion went on. We all went outdoors. It was some more shooting going on. And right today, like I tell everyone, my statement got me convicted, because even though it was 30 years ago, I still don't know if it was my bullet that took that young lady's life. But the statement saying I shot one time got me convicted. But since then, I tell everyone, when I got out of prison, instead of getting out being one of the worst criminals there is, because I could have did that, I became one of the best comedians there is. And the reason I say I could have done that, because it's been over 30 years since I had cocaine. It's been 19 years since I had marijuana. Today is actually 5 years and 6 months, no alcohol. And I used to shoplift for a living for my children, make sure they had. But it's been over 20 years since I put my hand on anything that don't belong to me. But then going around making everyone laugh and still feeling like an elephant have his feet on my chest. If I didn't know God, I believe I would be back out there stealing, and I wouldn't be killing, because there ain't nothing like a life being taken. But I probably would be out there drugging and drinking and all that stuff, and probably stealing. But God been making a way out of no way for me every time I turn around. So I know He is with me, so I don't have to even have those thoughts in my head no more.
I think it's a phenomenal story. And like I said the other day when we were talking, I said, I can't judge you, right? Because again, sometimes you could just be somewhere you don't even know, right? And then you're right. You get into these interrogation rooms, they start asking you questions you don't know, and they can ask you the same question 20 different ways, but it's really the base of it is still the same question. And I have to say, sometimes it's not easy for everyone. I mean, we see it all the time on social media where these parents are, they just, it's the luck of the draw. It's the times we live in. I was watching the other day where it was a young lady who was, stealing out of a store because she said, my son is hungry. As a parent, especially, I get it, because when life hits you, and then when it comes to your children, you don't know what you want to do. I know Some people may say, I would never, but don't say you would never, because never say never, because you don't know. Until you get in that situation, you don't know, right? Even when it comes to I'm sorry.
Not cutting you off. Sometimes it was best to boost, as we call it, shoplifting, boosting, or whatever. I felt it was best for me to do that sometime instead of laying down with dogs getting up with fleas, if you know what I mean. I didn't feel I had to lay on my back to get nothing. I just go take it. And but like I say, I'm proud to say it's been over 20 years. I haven't put my hand on nothing that don't belong to me. And it feel good going in those stores. And when I was out in California, I was shopping at this one boutique all the time. And the people had to go out the country, and they asked me to run their store for them few days. And it felt so good to be, trusted again. I said, I remember back in the day, I would have left nothing but those naked mannequins. But to be able to run those people's store and make sure people bought things and knew the shoplifters when they came in and was able to stop them instead of allowing them to take out the people's stuff, it really felt good.
Yes. Okay. I you know what, like I said, I'm proud of you. So let's move forward, right? How did you get into comedy?
Well, I always shout my daddy out, man. He rest in peace. His birthday will be on the 8th. So I'm doing a big show here in Arkansas on that date because it's special to me. But my daddy, he inspired me to be the comedian I am on today because him and my mother had 10 children. And he could have been with like Red Fox and Richard Pryor and all of them. He was just funny as them or funnier. But he had to work a real job, so that's the only reason why he didn't be a comedian and blow all up. But every Friday when he used to get paid, he'll stop at the liquor store, cash his check, buy him a half a pint, and bring mama the rest of that money, and he'll sit in the yard and drink it because a long week of work, you know what I'm saying? So he felt like that was his time. But he'll sit there and drink it and get to telling jokes. And when I tell you, everybody in the neighborhood came in our yard every Friday like it was a comedy club. I was like, wow. Then I started watching different comedians and stuff on TV. And I was like, dog, that's what my daddy do. And I did like a couple of talent shows in Arkansas. But when I went to St. Louis, Missouri, shout out to one of my good friends, I got in a competition and she was like, you need to say your name is Arkansas. So I just kept it and I was like, what better state to represent than your own?
Yes. So when you first hit that stage, were you nervous? Like, how did you even prepare to get on the stage?
You know what though, doctor, the only thing make me nervous is when I think they don't have my money.
That's the reason.
I actually take a few minutes out to say a prayer before I go on stage every time. And I ask God to allow those people to receive me, allow me to receive those people. And then I say, come on, let's go. And I take him out there with me. And most of the time I come to a place before the show actually starts and just go through there talking to people. So when it's time for me to take the mic, they really already ready for me.
Oh, I love it. So do you write your jokes down before you go on? Is it just really telling a story?
Well, actually, I've been doing comedy, like I say, I got in trouble 30 years ago, and people don't believe it, but it's been about 30 years since I've been doing comedy. And it's like it's a gift. It just comes. When I first started, I wrote down stuff. Like even now, I do it like on my voice recorder or something, a little piece of something to remind me of something I thought about or whatever. But as far as writing, I don't do writing anymore. I just speak it into my phone or jot it down. Like I say, it's been over 30 years. And a lot of people be like, you're telling them same jokes. I tell people it's okay. It's like putting a CD in and you push replay. Ain't nothing different gonna come on that song. It's just gonna say the same thing. But I tell them it's always someone in there that ain't never heard you. So if you do have a nice following and they following you, you throw one or two in there that they haven't heard, and then they be like, oh, wow, I ain't heard that one. And if they keep on stressing you about new comedy, you think of something about them and make it a joke, and they won't want no more jokes.
Because let me tell you one thing, and you tell me this correct, right? One thing I will never do is be late to a comedy show. Don't be late, because you will become part of that show.
Well, a lot of comedians do that, but me personally, I feel if you're late, I'd rather for you to be there late than not come at all. I don't pick people out the audience to talk about, to try to get a laugh. I feel people come to enjoy the show, not be the show. And if I do say something about you, you can laugh with everybody. Mm-hmm. Now, that's me personally.
Mm-hmm. Because
love me everywhere I go, thank God, because
I don't really mind, right? I really don't mind. I think it's funny because I already set myself up. Like, if I'm gonna be late, I know I'm gonna be heckled. I'm gonna be part of that show, right? But I think where it kind of draws the line when they start being like something to humiliate you. I think that's too much. But then again, like people say, it's comedy. So what can you do? But again, I will not say.
Well, Doctor, all of it ain't comedy. If you breaking people down and making them feel bad and feel sad and want to go home and do something to themselves, and a lot of people I invite out to shows, they left with a sour taste in their mouth, and I have to convince them that, I'm not like that, or the comedians I work with ain't like that, and I promise you a good time. And then when they come and after the show is over, they thank me a million times. And I be like, I just smile and thank God,
Yeah, you're right.
People don't know what they doing to people. Some people come to laugh to get stuff off of their mind. And like I say, you never know what someone is going through. And even though I want a whole lot of money, but to see people laugh and smile and, like I say, you don't know what they're going through, that mean everything to me.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Like sometimes it could be embarrassing. For me, knock on wood, it was never embarrassing. It's like funny. But you're right. I've seen people leave out and they're like really upset about it.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because I know you've talked about this. You probably heard about it 1,000 times, probably tired of it. So at what point, since you just brought up about, about the whole, really just being mindful and respectful of people. So what do you think about, and I know people tired of this, but like even with the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing, where people were actually saying, you know what, he's a comedian. So now it's almost like you're almost afraid to say, or you're like more mindful of what you say because it's a comedian, and somebody's going to make some jokes about these things. So at what point?
You know what though, Doctor, me personally, like I say, when I first started comedy, my first 5 years, you would have thought I was Bernie Mac's little sister. Everything was a curse word. I missed out on a lot of money because I thought them was jokes. And that's why I tell comedians that's up and coming or whatever, work on you 5 minutes of clean comedy because you can always dirty that up, but it's hard cleaning it up. And, doing it many years as I've been doing it, I have to say me personally, because I can't speak for them other comedians, but me personally, I know what to say, when to say, how to say. I could go in a room and I have my mind set to say all kinds of stuff. But when I look at my audience and I see elderly people in there, whatever, some of them jokes I hold back on or take the cursing out. You know what I'm saying? It's called respect, even though I might hear them cussing like a drunk sailor, but that don't make me disrespect them.
Yeah. No, I totally understand, right? I mean, that's, you know what? That's a good way of putting it. You're right. I mean, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a comedian now, but when it comes to respect, especially when it comes to older people, I don't curse like around them because it's just about respect. And I know even at this point, my mother she will check me in a minute. You know what I mean? Again, it's about a matter of respect. So let me just ask you, right? So you go on these, like you've been on tours with people, okay? And again, I don't want to like sensationalize them, but you've been on tours, okay? So when you go on tour, like how do you prepare for that? Because you're really going from city to city to city. How do you prepare for all of that? Like, again, I know you say you talk about kind of the same thing, you put some new things in there, but if you're open,
the only thing I prepare is making sure I got enough wigs and enough outfits. I don't worry about my comedy. You know what I'm saying? Because I got that down packed, as you would say. Like I know what I'm gonna say. I know what I'm gonna do. Sometimes, like when I do clean comedy, if I run out of clean jokes, I sing a church song. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, "Oh my God, you can sing too." So I get a CD one day like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
But I like I say, my main concern, that's all I be concerned about. Man, what wig I'ma put on? What outfit I'ma wear? Like I have a big show, God Say the Same, next Saturday here in Blythesville, Arkansas at the Ridge Civic Center. I brought like 5 different outfits with me. I better go try them on because I think I done gained a couple pounds since I bought them. But I don't even know which one of those I'm gonna wear. And ripping and running and going to these stores with my sister and them, I've been grab something else. So I might not even wear what I brought. But those are my main concern. What shoes, stuff like that. I don't really worry about what joke I'm gonna tell.
Wow. Well, okay.
And I said earlier, the only thing make me nervous is when I think they ain't got my money. Because a lot of so-called big comedians or whatever, they'll tell them up-and-coming comedians, if you don't get nervous, something wrong with you, or you too cocky, or blah, blah, blah. It's not that. Don't get me wrong, I do get a little butterflies sometimes, especially if I'm sitting there waiting to go up, and they be like, well, the next comedian coming up, she did that, and then turn right around and tell 5 more jokes. Now my little stomach feeling some kind of way. Cause it's more of anxious, not nervous, but want to go up and do what I came to do. So I have a little feeling like that, but it don't be, after doing time in prison, don't nothing make me nervous.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I didn't want to ask you. I wasn't going to ask you. But can you show them glasses you got in your car, please? When I came on, I was like, I gotta really get myself together. Look at these glasses. All right, look, then show them the other 20 pair you got in there. See, they ain't gonna get past these glasses. Look.
They all blinged up too.
I see.
Oh look.
I felt like a plain Jane when I came. I was like, oh God.
Hold up, one more.
Yeah.
Catwoman.
I'm telling you, I love it. And I was like, look, I know we this was definitely not planned, but when she showed these glasses, I was like, oh my gosh.
But I love dressing and stuff like that, because when I was shoplifting, I stole the best. You know what I'm saying? And then when I stopped stealing and shoplifting, boosting, whatever you want to call it, when I gave that up, I didn't give up how I dressed and stuff. I just had to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. But I could tell though, because when I came on, it was like, I'm gonna tell you, it was like a shock factor, like a good one. It was a shock factor. I was like, okay, I did it together. It was. Yeah. It was like a shock factor. It was a great start, and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. So if you go on stage with them glasses, they're gonna be looking at them glasses too. And
that's like when I host. I love hosting too, because when I host, they give me the chance to change wigs, clothes, all kinds of stuff. And I come out with the first outfit and they be like, oh my God, that was so pretty. I come out with another one, and then that last one just blow their mind. And after the show, all the women's and some guys come to me wanting to know where I got that outfit from.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, but you're in Arkansas. It's...
Well, you know what? I'm in Arkansas now. Today is tomorrow will actually be 6 months that I've been back in Arkansas. I was gone away from home over 25 years. I left home. I moved to St. Louis, Missouri. I stayed there like 9 years. I went out to California. I was there 12 at first. I ended up going back out there. And then I went to Las Vegas, and I was in Vegas for 4 years. And 6 months ago, I just put everything in my car that would fit and drove 21 hours from Las Vegas to Jacksonville, Arkansas, right by Little Rock, Arkansas. And I said, I'd rather go home than be homeless.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way of putting it. I was saying, because, you know, some of these states, it's almost like you got to bring it. You know, when it comes to dressing, like, you better look good, your kids and your cars, like your car got to be clean. You know, like, they don't come to play games.
But you know, sister, when I go to my shows and do my shows, I always dress up because I make them think I got some money if I ain't got no money. You hear me? I be right up there with them so-called big ones, baby. They don't know the difference for real. And like I tell them, if I never get all the way rich and famous, I can buy myself a chicken.
Love it. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And you know, I just try to stay positive with the ones that I speak with. And I also let them know, you know, if God ain't if he don't do nothing else for me, he have really done more than enough. I've seen all 4 of my children get grown. They doing pretty good. My baby boy, he incarcerated. But like I told him, trust God when you can't trust yourself, son, because sometimes mama ain't going to be around. You know, I might be busy in these streets trying to make $1 to put on your book, but God is there. So you got to trust him when you can't trust yourself. But my children is grown. I've been blessed with 11 beautiful grandbabies. And then they say I'm crazy, but I'm in my right mind. All my activities of my limbs are working. You know what I'm saying? And I got my own car. Like I said, I drove it home. So praise God, I ain't got to be asking nobody to take me nowhere. And God is in the makings of giving me my own place within another month or so. But I believe it's next week. But he just showing up and showing out. You know what I'm saying? You just got to wait on him. Because if you don't wait on him, whatever you do gonna fail.
You're absolutely right. You're right. And sometimes you're blessed to be in a situation where you don't even know, like, maybe if you're prepared. And we talked about this whole podcast thing earlier. I said, I never thought about being a podcaster. You know, there was never my dreams, hopes, goals. I met a lot of people along the way. You know, like I said, we were talking about Nate, and it was another young lady, Free, and they were like, hey, you know, they encouraged me. So you just never know which direction that God's going to use someone else to kind of lead you in a way. You just don't know. I think our lives are already written for us. We just don't know. But when we're given that opportunity, you know, we're gonna seize the moment.
Right. Well, when the pandemic had first started, I started a podcast. It was titled "Zooming Through the Pandemic" with comedian Miss Arkansas. And then I put outside it and said, it doesn't mean we going through it fast. It only meant we were going through it together. And when I first started, I was like calling people, trying to interview them. I said, I got this little podcast. And God put it in my spirit and say, take little out of your mouth. And when I took little out of my mouth, when I tell you, he started allowing me to interview some big, amazing people. And wow, it was like, but like you were saying earlier when we was talking, it become tiresome. You know, especially when you got to get up and get yourself all dolled up and get yourself ready for your viewers and stuff. And I went from doing it like a week to like 3 days to 1 day. And then I just turned my computer off. And I haven't given up on my podcast. I just feel like I'm taking a break. And when I come up with another title, then I will be bringing it back and interviewing people such as yourself.
Well, you know, I'm always there. I will make time. I promise. You have my word. I'm saying it publicly. I will definitely make time because I can't wait. Absolutely. So let me ask you. So when you go on and let's say you're with another comedian, do you like to open or close it?
You know what, sister? They can put me anywhere they want to. Change the lineup, just don't change my pay.
I love it. I love it because I hear,
I just feel, well, I'd rather for it to be a fire lineup, but I can't worry about that either. My thing is, if you do bring me up first, whoever come after me just better do what they came to do.
Because I hear some comedians want to be like last because they're considered the headliner. But if I'm going to laugh, I'm laughing.
Headliner means that you just the last person. And you might get more time than the other people. But my thing is, a lot of times if you the headliner, and say for instance some of them that went before you ain't funny, a lot of the people in the audience done left. So you might not have the crowd that you would have had if you had went first, second, or third, Unless you got an all funny lineup. Now, if all your comedians keeping them going, then yeah, they ready for the headliner.
That's what makes sense too, because I mean, I know again this whole thing, and now you hate to mention names, but I remember when that whole conversation happened with Monique and DL, and he was like, he was the headliner, she wanted to be the headliner. And I remember going to comedy shows, right? So if you have, like you just made a good point, if you have 3 and 4 comedians, by the time that last comedian come on, it might be 11 or 12 at night, especially on a Friday or a Thursday. You're tired. So then the last comedian come on, you want to laugh because you're like, look, I'm spent this money. I went and got me an outfit and, put a couple of dollars aside to enjoy myself, but you're tired. So you're really, you're not really enjoying it because you've already laughed the first 2 or 3 comedians.
You're right.
So, and then some of them, I'm not sure how much time you get, but by the time they do like a 30 to 45 minute set, 3 comedians, you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, you still want to laugh?
Well, I'm supposed to give everybody that amount of time. Like an opener, give 5 to 7.
Oh, really?
Right. And then the next one might get like 15 minutes. Then the next one might get like 5 minutes more than that one, and then the headliner get the most.
Yeah. Wow.
But I've been on shows where it was like they call it an all headliner show, and they might give all of us 20 minutes apiece. Like I say, I don't care. You can shorten my time, just don't shorten my money.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because I've been to somewhere it's like 3-4 hours. Great. But by that time, you're like, wait a minute now. Y'all should have been giving some intermissions or something because it was a lot. You're right. It was great, though. It's funny, but it was a lot. So I didn't even realize that they only give some people only give like 15, 20 minutes. I always figure like the person who comes on first, they're sometimes the ones I've been to, they're like the MC, I guess they are, and the comedian. So which one do you like to, which one, or you don't have a preference? Do you like to be the MC too in the comedy? Because they're always the funniest.
I love it. Like I say, when people pay me to host the show or MC it, I bring me like 2 more outfits other than the one I'm wearing. And I change, like maybe if 3 more comedians got to go up, I keep on what I have on. Then I bring that other one up. Then I change. And then I save my real bad outfit to bring up the headliner.
Well, you might be looking better than the headliner.
90% of the chance is true. But it ain't like that's my intention. It ain't like, I think I'm all that and this and that and that. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to water down myself or my comedy for no one. God gave me this gift, and if I lose it, it's going to be because he took it, not because I changed for you. You know what I'm saying?
But that's you. Like, look, they know they're the headliner. People staying to see them. They gotta step it up. Some people that's where they are. You like to come out, you look good. But I actually pay attention to, like I said, the MCs. I do, because I look forward to what they're gonna wear. Because I just remember like somebody like a Diana Ross, which is not common, but this woman used to change, it seemed like 5 or 6 times. And I always ask, what's she gonna wear? What's she gonna wear? Because with the comedians, I'm always asking what's she gonna wear too. Like, I love some more, right? Plus, she's a Jersey girl. But I'm always intrigued. Like, I wonder what she gonna wear.
Yeah, I like her too. She dressed really nice too. Older comedian told me, he was at the Comedy Store. I met him, an older white guy. He was saying how he really liked how I dressed. He said, I'm not flirting with you. He said it just irks his spirits to see a lot of comedians come in there dressed like they just left a ball game or just got up off the couch and came. So I try to tell different comedians, it do make a difference on how you look on that stage.
Yes, you're absolutely
Your appearance is thing.
Yes, I totally agree. If we were going to a hip hop concert, that would be different. But a comedy show, I always like to see what they're going to wear. I really do. Because I think, for me, comedy and R&B singers and jazz singers, they always have the best outfits. I always think that they put it on. They really do. I love it. And like you said, with you and the glasses, I was like shocked to me. I thought it was just so cool. And I could tell, like, that's the way you are. You really like, you like to dress. So let me ask you, do you change it? Do you change your comedy according to like the audience? Like, how do you know who the audience is gonna be? Like, what if you went into, I don't know, like some audiences are a little different. They may have more of an elderly, I don't want to say elderly because they're not elderly anymore, more mature crowd.
Easy.
Say that again?
Well, first of all, when I do my comedy, I always say, let me get a few out the way for the church people. So I might do like my first 5 to 7 minutes just on clean comedy. You know what I'm saying? And I be like, and this the last one, church people. Like that, they start laughing at that. And then I ease my way on into my other comedy. But you know what though, doctor? Even my other comedy is not the kind to make your skin crawl. Every word ain't no curse word. And then the cursing is cursing. But I know where to put the curse words. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I'm up there just cussing like a drunk sailor,
Yeah. But
I hear a comedian that do something to me too. I'm like, what a joke.
Right. Like for me, it doesn't bother me if you cursing, not right. But I'm always like, where is the joke? Like, I want to hear the joke. Like that's what I want to hear. Now, there's a couple of comedians that when they come, they're gonna bring it. You're like, oh my God. Like, I love Ted Williams. I like some more. And what I like about, like, I'm not sure if other people pay attention. I'm sure they do, right? I like comedians that they're gonna teach you something. It's funny,
right?
But they're gonna teach you something.
You're right.
They'll give you a different perspective to look at different things.
Right.
So, what type of comedian are you? I mean, like, are you?
Talks about my children, my family, different things around me or whatever. And I've been blessed with a gift where I can look at something and make a joke out of it. The only thing I won't joke about is the disabled. If I say something about God or Jesus, the Holy Spirit, or the church people, it ain't nothing to condemn myself and then make me go to hell. It's something that God can smile down on too.
Well, I noticed, right? You were looking out the window and things like that. And in my mind, I'm like, I wonder if she already got something that she's thinking about for like a joke or something. And I say that because just in like a few comedians I met, and not many, but not everything, but they can make a joke out of something, right? And like when you're feeling down, those are the type of people that you want to be around because they will make you laugh and forget all about your issues.
Right. But I was actually looking at my grandson. He was walking, going that way, and I was trying to keep an eye on him. You know, he actually raps in one of the best rappers I've ever heard. Not saying because he's my grandson, but because everything he rapping about is so real. And he on tour right now with my little cousin Sizzle. Sizzle was signed by Gucci Man. So, you know, some of us in little Arkansas is blowing on up. All praises be unto God. So I'm just grateful to have my grandson doing what he love and not in no trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we gotta give Arkansas credit now. I mean,
Arkansas is all right. You know what I'm saying? They talk
you're
a lot of stuff, but Arkansas got a lot of talent in it.
Yeah, Cheryl Underwood's from Arkansas, isn't she?
I think Lunel.
Yeah. They always talk about Arkansas.
Hey, come on now.
Bill Clinton ain't he from Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. The wife, yeah, like, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the best kept secret because it's not a secret.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't pay no attention. I'm like, keep talking. And it feels so good to be back home. And when I do shows in Arkansas, and they be like, coming to the stage, all the way from Arkansas, Miss Arkansas.
I love it. I do. I really do. Like I said, some of the greats come out of Arkansas. I mean, you come on, Lunel and Cheryl Underwood. I mean, right there, that's right there.
You better add Miss Arkansas in there, baby.
I didn't even finish with it. I was definitely gonna say you too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm not being biased and nothing like that, but I'll put you up there with them any day. Because
I'm like that boxer that's from Arkansas. He said every time he put a mic in his hand, he gonna say Arkansas.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put you up there now. Don't get me wrong. Just because you've been in the business, don't mean you always gonna make people laugh. You know what I mean? Like,
come on.
You know, because some people just
so true. But Doctor, what's crazy about it? A lot of these big comedians, they only got all these followers because the majority of them been on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
They go to them places. When I tell you, a lot of them don't pack them out. It mainly be whatever comedian on there with them because they still humble and don't mind promoting and getting out there, getting people to come.
Yeah.
That's like when, shout out to Monique. I don't really have anything bad to say about her. Whatever I say about her is the truth. It ain't like I'm lying and hating or nothing like that. But when we was in Las Vegas at the SLS Hotel and Casino, a lot of those people, because my sister lived in Vegas and I lived there with her for a while, then I ended up going back to Vegas. So I'm well known in Las Vegas. And a lot of those people said the only reason they came to that show because of Miss Arkansas. They said they didn't like her or the casino.
I believe it.
And when our tour ended, she let me go on that Thursday, and Las Vegas let her go on that Friday.
Right. Well, I didn't want to bring it up because I know
nothing to do with that. And I didn't have nothing to do with that. God say, touch not my anointing and do my prophets no harm. I don't know if I'm anointed or am I a prophet. But he said, but yeah, I just feel when people ain't doing wrong by you, you shouldn't do wrong by them. You shouldn't do wrong by no one.
Right.
But especially that's not doing nothing.
Right. Well, I didn't want to bring it up
because it came to an end. Look, even though it came to an end, because everything comes to an end, even a good book have an ending. So I'm not tripping about that. Once again, I would truly say right now on your platform and any other platform I go on, when we first parted, me and Monique, I was hot as grandma's straightening comb or or the fish grease. I was hot about it because I didn't like how it was went how they went by it. And I said some mean things, but I had to ask God to forgive me for that. You know what I'm saying? I can't hinder what he doing for me by holding on to some mess. But I always say how I thank God for using her to take me to these places, mainly to that Apollo in Harlem, New York, because I have been trying to get in there over 30 years on amateur night. And when I got there, I got the mic, and before I got into my comedy, I told him, hold up, Apollo, I got to give God some praises. I said, I've been trying to get in this place over 30 years on amateur night. I say, but the God I serve said I ain't no amateur, so I'm here, Apollo. And them people went bananas. Everything else was just smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Jersey, so you know Apollo ain't too far. But when you go to Apollo, it's a different type of audience. And I'm glad you made. I don't even know why it took them 30 years to bring you in, because I think you're phenomenal.
Right.
Better than some of them up there, more than some of them.
You're right.
I mean, come on.
But you know what, though, sister? Like I said earlier when we was talking, if I don't remember nothing else my mother said, she used to always stress it to us that God's timing ain't your timing.
True.
And once again, because like you say, and I said, I've been with some amazing people and some not so amazing people. And if she hadn't raised me the way she raised me, I probably would have did some real devilish things. You know what I'm saying? Sold my soul, my goal, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But by my mother raising me like that, telling me that God's timing ain't my timing, even though I've been doing it 30 years, but 30 years to me is like 30 seconds to God.
Right. Well, how does
and according to the good book, only what we do for him gonna last.
Right. Well, how does a person get into comedy?
Well, I would tell them if they're serious about it, go to like an open mic, work out you a 5-minute comedy set, just continue to work on that same set, record yourself, see what the people laugh most about. If they ain't really laughing at that, fix that. They can reach out to me also. I won't take their jokes and try to tell them. I'll tell them to either add to this or take away or leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember back in the day, people say, oh, I can. And next thing you know, you somewhere and you hear them telling your jokes. But I feel I got enough mess of my own, so I ain't got to steal nobody's joke. I had a man tell me one time I did a show, he say, I heard that before, and then this lady brought me back like a month later to actually headline, and he was one of her followers. And I said, hold up, y'all, before I do my comedy, I want to say something to this young man right here. I say, he told me the last time I was here that he had heard one of my jokes before, and I just want to say to him, next time you hear it, I said, you go back and tell whoever told it, don't tell it no more. Started laughing. And then sometimes you have jokes similar to other people, but you can pretty much tell when somebody done stole somebody's joke because they normally do it like word for word.
Yeah, but you gotta change it up to make it your own, I'm thinking.
I had a young lady, I do this one joke about bipolar. This young lady contacted me, it's been a while back. She said, Miss Arkansas, I heard that you going around telling my joke. I don't even follow her, first of all. So what is you talking about? She said, my bipolar joke. I just want you to know I'm getting ready to tell that on TV. I said, I wouldn't give a flying duck if you getting ready to tell it at a funeral. Don't you call my phone no more. I ain't say flying duck, but I'm cleaning it up for the doctor show. You hear me? But I gave her a good cussing. Don't call me no more. I don't even follow you to know your jokes. And first of all, bipolar ain't no joke. I'm there for real.
Well, let me just put this disclaimer out, okay? I come from a lineage of cussers. They don't curse, they cuss. They will cuss you out, Okay. Look, don't get these titles and all this stuff. Don't let it fool you.
And I did that. They put us on a show together in Las Vegas, and don't you know she told them people that she missed her flight because she didn't want to be on there with me. But business is business. I don't care if we have had a couple words. We ain't even got to have coffee together. But you ain't gonna make me not make my money.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
But it's all kind of mess in this. It's not just in the comedy world. It's in the music world. It's just in the world, period. You know.
Yeah.
And like they say, it's just too many crabs in the bucket. They always trying to pull you down. And I found it to be true that people don't mind you getting to the middle of the ladder. But if you start going to the top of that ladder, then they try to bring you back halfway or bring you back down. So you just have to keep focused, stay focused, keep God first, do right by people. You know what I'm saying? And if they ain't doing right by you, God will take care of that part. But you just have to do what you know is right and just stay in your own lane. Keep moving.
Yeah. So where do they find, like, okay, so you mentioned about doing the 5-minute shows or whatever, but how else would they go and go about to continue it? Is it social media now where people just happen to see a clip of you?
Well, they can put it on any of them platforms they want, or they can do like a 30-second video. That's how a lot of them blowing up now. They call them internet sensations or whatever. I ain't hating on them. Hey, if you get it. If you got it, get it. But they can do little clips and put them on Facebook, start getting their people interested and excited and stuff like that. Or they could just ask Siri now, where's open mic near me, and Siri will let you know where all the spots are. And don't let them open mic you to death. When you feel that, God will let you know when you're ready. You know, but when you do that 5 and you get that down packed, then you just start adding on. And before you know it, you're a feature or a headliner.
Wow.
Because you got so much material that you can get up there and tell, but you got to make sure it got a good beginning to get the people attention. You might even lose them in the middle of what you're saying, but that punchline is what's going to really hit them.
Right.
So you just got to make sure you got everything lined up right. Don't just be writing and talking stuff just to be doing it, because a lot of people think because they funny in front of their family, they can be funny on their stage, but that's not true.
You're right, because there's some people out there comic, right, that they're funny if you would have a conversation, but to get on the stage, they're not funny. Like, this just me talking. I don't think DL is funny. I don't think Steve is funny. I don't think they're funny at all, right? I don't think Monique is funny. But who I think like Lamarr is funny, Cat Williams, Bernie Mac. I think they're funny, right? But the rest of them, they may be funny for like I said, to have a conversation. They had a cookout or Thanksgiving,
right.
But to go on a stage for 45 minutes an hour, they're not funny to me. Right?
You're right.
Yeah, and I think now,
and you know what? That's your opinion too, and can't nobody do nothing about it. That is your opinion.
Right?
We all have one. It's like a butt hole. Everybody got one.
Yeah, and you're right. It's like,
and what I love about it, a lot of people that's watching and myself agrees with you. And then take it back to what I was saying earlier on your show. How a lot of them just been on TV.
Yeah.
And TV makes a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They might have like
followers like that. That's like T.I. Shout out to T.I. They say he went out of town somewhere doing comedy and bombed. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know him as a rapper.
Right. And you know what? I think Renee was saying it, right? Like she said, like Wendy Williams was trying to be a rapper. Another one from the Housewives. Yeah. Like comedy is, and you know, because you're the expert, right? comedy is not something you be like, I'm gonna go up here and make people laugh for 30 minutes. You can't even make people laugh for 15 minutes. That's a different. It's like, to me, it takes like a cadence to keep people laughing.
Right.
Wendy Williams is not funny to me. She is a host, like, radio. I can't see her being no comedy. Like the other one from the Housewives, they're not comedy. T.I., like T.I. Yeah, Nene Lee. T.I., stay with rapping. There's nothing
What
funny.
do you think about Mike Tyson being a comedian?
No. No. That's like me saying, I'm gonna go to the pizzeria and I want a good cheeseburger. They make them, but that don't mean it's good.
Right.
Mike Tyson can talk all day about boxing, right? All day. He can talk about them chicken things. He can talk about the marijuana, right? He can talk about all those things, and it's great, right? But
right.
Comedy? No. No. Wendy Williams?
Right.
No. Nope. DL, you're right. They had shows. Cedric, they had shows. It kind of put them in the front of people, but being funny? No.
Well, that was kind of neck to neck. They comedy is pretty much on the same level. I think they really just wanted to close out so they could do more time, but I heard they had the same amount of time. And that's what made me make the t-shirt I had made say, you can change the lineup, just don't change Miss Arkansas pay.
That's right. Right.
And it's sad to see them fight like that because we supposed to be a close knit of people, comedians. Yeah. I thank God for those that's in my circle. We real close and look out for each other,
Right. And I agree. And for me, no matter what business thing, whatever you go into, maintain being humble for anyone, right? You have these comedians that just because, like the Steves and all of them, they will get up here. They know they're not that funny to me, right? But they'll be like, oh, I was homeless. I was this, that, and the other. No, you were not homeless. It's just your parents put you out, but you were not homeless. And all that stuff is not a joke. Lying, now people can pull that stuff up. But again, it's not like you were homeless. And everybody don't need to know that you can get on and off private jets. I want to know, can you make me laugh?
Right.
Right? I don't care about that.
You're right. It's so true. But one thing about it, not bragging or boasting, Miss Arkansas gonna make you laugh. And a lot of times, shout out to my good friend, comedian Sizzle C out of Los Angeles, IE area. Sizzle C is a good friend of mine, and we talk a lot. And he said, Miss Arkansas, you know what? You really ain't even got to tell jokes. You can just get up there and go to talking. He said,
yeah. Yeah. Some people don't. That's why I asked you if you wrote it down, because like now you can go get trained, you can go to school, whatever, right? Some people just have a gift. That's just like singing, right? You can go to a vocal coach, but some people can just sing. You're that person where you don't have to do all this. You can just get up there and just start talking, and that just be it. Like,
man, from a family of 10, you have to be funny. I got a brother, I call him Mr. Right or Wrong. I be letting him open for me when I do shows at home. And he hilarious too. But from a family of 10, you gotta be funny. Cause say for instance, mama done made some beans and neck bones and ain't nothing left in that pot but the juice. Baby, you better laugh.
You're right. And that brings me to shoot
out. Look, and go on and mash that cornbread up in that juice and be happy,
Yeah. Matter of fact, it's just so funny you said that, because I was just telling my friend yesterday, I said, you know what? I wish I had me some beans and some ham hocks, right? And I said, I'm gonna make me some. She said, I'm gonna make that too with some cornbread. We was talking about the beans. You ain't got no beans, right? And she said, if I eat some cornbread and I sop it up, we call it sop, right? She said, I gotta eat it together, right? And I said, yeah, because you need something that's going to hold to them ribs, you know? And we were
Right.
yeah, we was just talking about that yesterday. See, my mother from Alabama, right? So that's what we grew up with. You got 2 or 3 pieces of smoked meat in there. That's it. But if you don't get it from the beginning, you might not have a chance for that piece of meat.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember being a bad kid. You know, they used to always say, a hard head make a soft behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had this little white heater, little gas heater in the bathroom, right? And I was in there jumping over it, talking about Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. My mom said, "Bring your so-and-so out of there." And I kept on doing it. She said, "I ain't gonna tell your hard-headed tale nothing else. Come on out of there. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick." Soon as I said stick, my leg stuck to that little heater.
Mm-hmm.
I ran out there like a bulldog or something chasing me, screaming. She said,
yeah.
"I told you to bring your hard-headed tail out of there."
Was it kerosene?
Leg and look, not see your leg and see if it burn up or whatever. She fussing about you being hard-headed.
Yeah.
It was actually the good days, you know.
Oh yeah, you're right. When they tell you don't do something, you did it. Oh well, you won't get it. You won't tell. Was it kerosene?
I think that was like some gas or something, because Daddy used to have to light it. And another thing I remember, we had like a wood heater. Daddy used to tell my brother and them go out there and chop some wood, and one be chopping that same piece of wood while the other one's over there stealing the man next door wood.
Yeah, I remember.
But I remember making a pair of those jeans that's cut up.
Yeah.
And probably could have patented and been mine. And I had them hanging up by the heater, letting them dry so I can wear them to school the next day. I get up getting ready for school. I don't see my pants. I'm crying and stuff. I say, "Daddy, you see my pants?" He said, "Child, I made a fight with them things. That was a rag."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Put up, he thought that was a rag, honey. I was gonna wear them to school.
Oh yeah. But
you know what else we've been famous for? We could have been famous for the potatoes with the potato hugs on them. Like I say, my daddy had 10 of us, and he didn't have time to peel them potatoes. He used to wash them off and chop them up and cook them. Then next thing I know, they start selling them like that.
Oh yeah.
That's why they say about the patent stuff.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And to me, that's the best part of the potato.
Telling those jokes, we would have been rich.
Oh yeah. That's the best part of it. You're right. You know, I mean, shoot, you ain't getting rid of nothing.
Right.
You know? And like we were just saying about the smoked meat, you ain't even throwing the bone away. What you gonna do? You gonna use that bone for a soup or something.
Come on now.
You know, that's what you gonna use. Or that fat part.
Wasn't no sense of throwing it away nowhere if you had a dog, because that dog was gonna get that bone. I said my brother fed his dog everything we ate.
Yeah.
I had a dog. I brought him home and left him with my sister. And you know, they say I'm country, but a lot of them real country. So I told her, I say, "Don't give my dog nothing but Iams. I-A-M-S. Iams.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, get on out of here. I got that dog." So I came back. I said my dog was sick, about to die. I took him to the vet. The dog got all kind of tests ran on him. The vet came out and talked to him, and he said, "Your dog got diabetes." He was naming all kinds of stuff the dog had. I said, "How he get that?" He said, "Something he have eaten." So I called my sister. I said, "Sister, what did you feed my dog?" She said, "Didn't you say give him some yams?" I say, I know yams.
Well, I understand. We got a little poodle. He 10 pounds. And let me just tell you something. I got pictures where he up there eating a piece of ham hock, okay?
Wow.
And the doctor told us we gotta stop feeding like that because we're gonna mess up his whole digestive tract.
Right. But
And
look, before you let me off here, let me shout something out.
please do. Put it up there so they can see it. Hold it closer.
Yep.
All right.
This is actually next Saturday in Blythesville, Arkansas at the Ritz Civic Center. Miss Arkansas and Real Friends. When I started comedy over 30 years ago, I said Miss Arkansas and Friends. I looked up, everybody was saying them and they friend. So I changed it. Instead of Miss Arkansas and Friends, I say Miss Arkansas and Real Friends because these guys are my real friends. So it's going to be at the Ritz Civic Center in Blythesville, Arkansas, down on Main Street. I have Mark Superstar Jones. He actually from Arkansas also. I have comedian CC Lovechild. She originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I have my good friend Rob Love. He from Memphis, Tennessee. I just added Bob Digger. He's from Kansas City. And then before the comedy part, I'm going to have my nephew to sing. His name is Davin Dunn. He going to do 2 of his original songs. And who knows, if my grandson ain't on tour, I will have him to do one of his clean raps. It can have, like you said, it can have a little cursing, but not no every word curse word. But if he ain't booked somewhere, because God been booking them everywhere. So if he available, I have him to do something for me too. But it's gonna be an amazing show. All of them that I named are amazing, and if they wasn't, they wouldn't be on my show.
Right. Well, let me ask you, can you give us a little something?
Let's see. I give you what I call my free joke.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
I told him, I said, my little nephew told his daddy, he said, Daddy, the little girl down the street trying to holler at me. He said, what's her name? He said, Becky. He said, is her mother name Sally? He said, yes, sir. He said, boy, you can't mess with her. That's your sister. I cheated on your mama with Sally. A few weeks later, he met another little girl, got all excited, ran telling Daddy. Daddy claimed that's his sister, too. When his mama got home, he was looking all sad. She said, boy, what's wrong with you? He said, I met 2 girls. She said, that should make you happy. That shouldn't make you sad. He said, Daddy said, I can't mess with them, my sister. She said, shit, boy, go and get with them girls. That ain't even your damn daddy.
And that's funny because guess what? That happens.
And you know what? Even though I got them 2 curse words in, I could use that same joke and take them curse words out. So that's what I was trying to explain to the up and coming comedians. Work on clean comedy because you can always dirty it up, but it's hard cleaning it up.
No,
but,
you're absolutely right. But
matter of fact, I'm gonna give you one more.
Please do. Maybe we can get 2 more.
Since we in October, Halloween getting ready to come.
Oh Lord.
I say me and my ex was invited to a Halloween party last year. He left money at home. He said, baby, go out and get me something. I went to the mall and got Batman. I took it back home. He didn't want to be Batman. I went back and got Superman. He didn't want to be Superman. Now I'm mad, y'all, all this riding and gas high. I stopped at Walmart, got me 3 big white buttons and a big white belt. I took it home and laid it out on the bed. He got out the shower. He said, honey, what is that? I said, you could take them 3 big white buttons and put them down your chest and be a domino. Or you could wrap that big white belt around your tail and be an Oreo. I ended up going by myself.
Oh, that was a good one. But you know what? Like, you can't tell, like, there's no cussing in there.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right.
I can wrap that white belt around your eye, I could cuss in it or not cuss in it. And like the deacon at the church I was going to, Mount Zion Baptist Church in California, Ontario, California, the deacon told, well, he's a preacher too now. But he told me, he said, Miss Arkansas, I went online and saw some of your comedy. He said, all you got to do is remove the cursing and you're still funny. So like I say, when the church people pay me to do something, that's what I do, remove the cursing. And if I run out of clean jokes, I go to singing. I done sung at all kind of places, baby. They say, oh, you want to get in the choir? I said, no, I don't sing like that.
Well, can you give us a little piece of the singing? Because if somebody might be watching this, you never know. You might be signed.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I ain't in no singing mood. Let's see. What I want to sing.
Whatever come in your mind.
My stomach singing is growling. Let's see. I've had some good days, and I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain. Y'all know why I won't complain? 'Cause God been good to me. He been mighty good to me, more than this old world could ever be. Hey, I ain't in no singing mood. You ain't finna give me all
that was good. Let me tell you, that is not an easy song to sing.
That's actually my favorite song because I've learned complaining don't do no good.
Now, that ain't an easy song to sing, but you nailed that one. Now, I got a couple people I know who thought they could and got up in front of that church, and we was like, thank you.
Wow. You know what, Doctor? You said you acting just like Nate and myself. You said we were doing a 15-minute interview.
I did.
1 hour and 15 minutes, y'all. But when it happens like that, that means it's been some good stuff going on.
Yes, but I did say I want them people to be like, long story short, and that's another 15 minutes. But thank you so very much. Like I said, look, go check her out. Go check Miss Arkansas out. All of her socials are going to be attached to this live, so you can check her out. And you know what? Follow her around. Wait, hold on. Let me put the disclaimer up. Because, social media, when they say that, next thing you know, they start really following you. Follow her comedy when she goes places. Go buy the ticket and follow her. That don't mean go on social media and be trying to bootleg it. Go and follow her. Go where where she's going to be performing. And don't be getting crazy because we got some people out there that little weird.
But you know what, Doctor? I do comedy, but I still fight too. You hear me? Mm-hmm. So I ain't worried about them. They can run up and get done up. But don't only follow me if you on here and you have events and you looking for an amazing comedian. Make sure you book me and pay me, okay?
Yeah. Now, when she say pay, don't wait to the end like she want half and half. Like pay her
the deposit.
That's right, deposit. Because at the end you be like, I ain't got it. Well, guess what? I got half of my half of a half. That's only a third. So make sure she gets paid, and she'll throw a couple songs in it too. Okay. Now that might be extra, so ask her what the package is. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, they have to contact me because it's different strokes for different folks, and it just pretty much depends on what they need or want. Some might need just an opener, some might need a headliner, feature, MC, or you know what I'm saying. There might be a kids show. If kids shows and church shows, they cost more. Because I have to think harder.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
Yes.
Okay, well, y'all got it. But look, some of y'all church folk, y'all cussers too now. You know what I mean? Come on. They'll pray for you and then be ready to cuss you out now. But yeah,
Right.
make sure you book her. Like I said, her social's going to be on here. But book her because she's funny. And look, now y'all have no excuse because everybody's not going in the buildings now. She could do a comedy show right here on a Zoom, Microsoft Meet or whatever, Google Meet, whatever.
I do it on that too. If you have it like a Zoom comedy show or any other platform comedy show, I'm one of the comedians. I can be funny online, in line. It don't matter. But when the pandemic started, we found out a lot of comedians couldn't do Zoom comedy shows.
Wow.
They weren't funny enough to do it. I did one that say making the atmosphere laugh. That was actually on like a TV, and it was me just talking to the TV, and the people in the audience, they was laughing, but I couldn't hear them laugh. And then me personally, I laugh too because it's funny to me, so I laugh at my own stuff.
Yeah. And we got to throw in some of these companies. Y'all need team building and all that. You need a comic caller. Even these companies, the doctor's offices, everywhere. You need something for your kids. Yeah. Bat mitzvah. Caller. Churches, caller. Girl Scout, Boy Scout, Big Brother, Big Sisters of America, caller.
Weddings, divorces.
Yeah. Weddings, that's a new thing now. They have like common.
Look, I even did some at a repast. Them people, they really need that,
Yeah.
Ones I just didn't tell had to do with death or whatever, but I had enough to, take that off their mind for a little while.
I'm sorry, you threw me with the repast part. I was like, a repast.
No, I said that to say I will perform almost anywhere.
Yeah. But you know what?
Long as you got your money, you hear me?
Yeah. And she take, checks. Don't be trying to post date. But no,
I would Navy Federal. If it don't go, if they don't okay it, they ain't gonna. They'll tell me don't get it.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna let you go. But with repass, like downtown, right there, call it like homecoming or something like that. It's not always a sad moment. It's sad, but it's not always sad. Sometimes people actually party and rejoice, depending on what you do. So she's right. Anywhere you want a good comedy, she's willing to. She'll be out. So, let her know. Even Granddaddy party, when he be thinking he like an old stripper, she'll come there too. He want to go comedy.
And you are watching and you are in Arkansas or the surrounding areas and you would like to come to my show next Saturday, I am giving away 2 tickets on here today. So if you are watching and if you can tell me which city I went to first. No, Mighty Mike Luster did that on KJM 93.9 yesterday. What was the second place I went to after I left Arkansas? If you can tell me that, you can win 2 free tickets to my show on next Saturday, October the 8th at the Ridge Civic Center if you are in the area. So,
and you said it twice.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. Is there a flyer that we can post?
Yes, I can send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we go from there or whatever. And then if they following me, matter of fact, follow me and hit me in my DM. And if whoever get it first, right answer, and you in the area serious about coming, you'll win 2 tickets.
Okay, so can you send me the flyer today, right? If you don't mind, email me the flyer. I'll tag you on Facebook and my socials. I'll tag you so that way you'll see who wins.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So tag me and we'll get Nate involved, so he can tag or whatever, and get everybody involved with our posting. We have podcasts and get them involved and go check her out, right? So you got 2 tickets,
right.
Pay for 2 more because you may want to bring another friend or 2. So get more tickets. So yeah, send me the flyer and I'll definitely post it. But
thank you.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about helping each other. So, but thank you so very much. Like, you've been like a phenomenal person here, and even we've been talking behind the scenes, still a phenomenal person. Send that to me. I will make sure it gets out and get it posted on my socials. And thank you everybody for just tuning in today. You know, I did say it was gonna be a long story short, but it's never a short story, right? So, you know, I'm long-winded, but thank you again, and we are about to be out. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to The Truth of the Matter with Dr. Spencer. Yes, we talk about taboo topics, but that's life, and we keep it real and raw. Our passion is to educate and enlighten. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And we'll be back soon. But if you have a unique relationship situation and you'd like help, or you're tired of having to choose between your career and personal life, Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer is a life alignment strategist and a certified life, relationship, and business coach. So make sure to reach out on Instagram and TikTok at Dr. Lamarr Spencer, on Twitter at Dr. Spencer 15, on Facebook at Dr. Lamarr Renee Spencer, and the website drlamarrspencer.com. Or go old school and call 973-214-6464.
Don't forget to purchase the book, The Depth and Diversity with Relationships. Find it on Amazon and the website.
See you next time on The Truth of the Matter.